Hello everyone, this is Robyn and I am super excited for today's video. This is just a nice layered up card with just two colors, white and Night of Navy. And there's going to be some die cutting and some vellum, and it's just a very elegant card. And I want to show you what I'm using. So this is the new annual catalog 2022, and if you have this catalog, page 91, I'm using the Sun Prince Suite, and so I'm using the embossing folder, and I'm also using the designer series paper, and I'm using the stamp set and the dies, and they're the Nature's Prince. It's a Nature's Prince stamp set and the Nature's Prince the Natural Prince dies. So that's what I'm using today. So I hope you enjoy this video. And you can find me on mypinkstamper.com. So we're going to jump right in and get started with today's video. We're going to do our stamping first. And we'll start by stamping on this piece of basic white cardstock. I'm going to be using just some of the foliage from this stamp set. And I also I'm using this, but I'm going to point it out, this fun little background splotch or blotch or whatever you want to call it. You can use this with so many different designs and projects. I'm going to be using this one, and then I'm using Best Wishes and Happy Thoughts. That's my stamping. So we'll pull out the Night of Navy ink pad, and I'm going to go ahead and stamp these on the bottom. I just want to make sure that I have room for the wreath because we're going to be cutting it out. So with the die cut. So I'll just stamp this down here like that. And then I'm going to stamp this one. Make sure I have room to cut it out with the die. And then for this last one, I'm going to actually stamp it off first. So I'm going to grab a background piece of paper. I'm using our small grid paper, which is perfect for just to have next to your craft area. And I'll stamp it off first, and I just want it to be a lighter version, just like that. Okay, and then our last stamp, I'm going to be using some smoky slate cardstock, just a little scrap piece, and I'm going to stamp the sentiment in the center of this, like that. Best wishes and happy thoughts. Okay, I'm going to put away my ink pad, and now we'll pull out the die cut machine. I'm using the Stampin' Cut and Emboss, and if you're making this along with me, if you don't have the stamp set and dies, pull out what you have. Try to use the same colors, or if you have a blue, and try to recreate this card. Comment below if you're going to give it a shot, or let me know what you think of this project. Okay, so I love that there's this fun frame die that comes with the die set, and that's perfect for the sentiments that are included in the die set, or the stamp set. So I'm going to go ahead and just do this one first. I'm just going to run this through. Okay, and I can set that aside. And I like how with this die, there's also this embossed line around it, which is kind of a cool feature. Now I'm going to grab this, and I'll go ahead and do this fun wreath. And because it's so intricate, I'm going to run it through twice. So I'll just go forward and I'll go back. Forward and then back once. And I've already made a set of a dozen of these. I like to make handmade cards for my customers. So some of you watching today are actually getting this card in the mail, which is super fun. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and just punch this out, and you can kind of just maneuver it around a little bit and then pull it carefully out. And it cut these intricate pieces, which is really nice. Okay. Just going to push these out here. You probably can't see them. There we go. Just kind of push them out. If you don't have fingernails, you can use a paper piecer, you can use our take your pick tool. So now I have this. That's going to be part of my fancy card. And this isn't a typical Robyn card. There's no pink. It's not cutesy. It's just very beautiful. Which my cards are beautiful. I'm not saying they're not. I'm saying this one, I'm switching it up from my last few videos. Okay, so I'm going to just take the dies that go with the stamps. It's okay if they're not perfect. Remember that. I'm here to be your reminder that you're making these because it's artistic, it's a creative expression for you. They don't have to be perfect. Paper crafting does not require perfection. And I want you to remember that. I say it a lot because I absolutely believe it. Okay, now I'm just gonna run this through like that. Hold it down and then I'll run that through. And then we just have one more thing we're going to cut. Let me pull this. Okay, they all came out, which is nice. Can set this aside with my scraps. Okay, now the last thing we're going to cut out is we're using this piece here, and we're just using, this is a vellum scrap. So I love adding vellum, and we're going to use vellum as part of the background as well. And that's a little intricate on the vellum, so I ran it through forward and back. And then we just have this nice little vellum piece. It's gonna be gorgeous. Okay, now we are going to take this new Fern, I believe it's called Fern, 3D embossing folder. It's in the 2022 catalog. I'm gonna switch out my plates, and these all come, if you don't have a die cut machine yet, these come with the Stampin' Cut and Emboss, so you can just switch them out and they're ready to go. We're using a piece of vellum. This is cut at 3.5 by 4 3/4, and I'm gonna put it just in the fern. It doesn't have to be perfectly straight. I love embossing on vellum cardstock. Okay. Okay, here is the beautiful, look at how gorgeous that is. So it's vellum and it's embossed, so you can see all of the texture behind it, and it looks really good in this light too. You can get a really good idea of what it looks like in person. Okay, so we're going to put this together. So here's what I'm doing first. I've already made a dozen of these this morning, so I have it down. So for this wreath, I'm going to have the pointy part aimed down to the bottom. And now I have a piece of that paper that coordinates. I'll have the name of everything on the screen. It's also in the description below. And it's also at the end of this video. If you are in the United States and you'd like to place an order with me, you can order all of this online on my shopping page. It'll ship directly to you, and then you'll get my handmade thank you card in the mail. And if your order's over $50, I throw in a little extra goodie for you as well from me. You can go to shopmypinkstamper.com. But this is the, I believe it's called Sun Prince, but I'll have the name on the screen if I'm not right. And then all we're going to do is just flip this over. This is cut at 2.5 by 3.5. I'm going to put some, this is just our seal, Stampin' Seal adhesive. I'm just going to put a little on the top and the bottom, and we're going to put that right on here, and I'll have a little bit of the white on the top sticking out, a little on the bottom and on the sides. And then I'm going to turn this piece over, and I'm going to add a little adhesive, and just be very careful around, this is really delicate, that piece that we put the paper on. And I'm going to add, there we go. Now we're adding this directly to the vellum. Just going to go right here like that. Okay, and now let's go ahead and just add our card base, this onto the card base. This is a piece of Night of Navy cardstock. It's cut at 5.5 by 8.5 inches. And I've also scored it with my Stampin' paper trimmer at 4 1/4. I'll just fold this in half. Now I have my card base ready to go, and we'll take this piece here, and I'm going to add the adhesive just to where the paper is covering the vellum. If you go over that, you're going to see the adhesive on the front side, and we don't want to do that. Okay, so I'm going to add this right on here, And I love the look of vellum. Just kind of pops up and just looks really elegant. Do you see that? It just looks really so delicate and artistic. And I absolutely love that. I feel so artsy today when I designed this card. I'm like, oh, this is so cute. Okay, so I have also a piece of just smoky slate cardstock. This is cut 4 by 5 1/4. And the reason I cut this one is to put it on the inside. Since this Night of Navy is such a dark color, I like to add a lighter color inside to write my notes and my letters and to my friends and my family. Or if you're getting this card in the mail from me, I usually leave this blank. I usually add a sticky note so you can reuse the card I send you. It's a little extra gift. Okay, so now what we're going to do, this is where we're going to start layering these up. So I'm going to take this one right here that looks like a wheat, maybe wheat or something like that. And then I'm going to take the little vellum piece and I'm going to lay it right on top of it like this, okay? And now I'm going to take my Best Wishes element. I'm going to add just a little adhesive on the top, flip this over, and I'm going to press it down so it picked these two up like this. Okay, so I'm going to set that aside for a second. Now I'm going to take these two pieces and I'm going to add, I believe that's a fern. I don't know what the other one's called. And I'm going to add this on here kind of just like that. Okay, now what I'm going to do is turn this piece over. I'm going to add adhesive again, and this time I'm going over the white. Make sure it's not showing through on the top. And then I'm just going to add this on here like that. So it's just kind of a fun little arrangement. And then I can turn this over and I can add my Stampin' dimensionals. I'm going to add quite a bit on this one. I want to be nice and solid. I think I'm going to do 6. Okay. There, I've got 6 on there. And I can peel these off just like this. And if you haven't watched my latest videos, this is the 3rd video in a week, maybe 8 days. So don't forget to give those a view and leave a comment if you've watched those. Let me know what you think. And here we go. So this is just a beautiful card. It can be a thank you card, somebody getting married, just thinking of you. You can change the sentiment up. I thought this was a really versatile best wishes and happy thoughts. So it could be for anything, a new job, a new baby, a new, a move or anything you'd like, or just thinking of you. So there is my card for today using the Nature's Prince bundle. And I hope you have a wonderful day. Don't forget to give me a thumbs up if you liked today's video. And also, don't forget to follow or subscribe if you haven't already. I'm posting a lot of videos, and they are fun tutorials for you. You can find more of my tutorials and my weekly giveaways directly on my website, mypinkstamper.com. I'll talk to you soon. Bye-bye.